friends, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie. Today I have one of my recently completed diamond paintings, Mani, God of the Moon, from Diamond Art Club and the artist ChrissaBug. I'd love to share a review with you, give you my thoughts, and talk about what my experience was like so you can decide if this is a kit and or a company you would be interested in shopping from for yourself. So I'm going to give you a rundown of the different stats and kind of show you some bits of this up close and talk about just how I felt about working on this kit. So this features a character from Norse mythology, Mani, the god of the moon, and I have to give you this disclaimer right up front that I feel like I have a big bias in favor of this particular kit because I'm truly in love with the artwork. ChrissaBug's mythological characters are really some of my favorites. One of the things I enjoy most about her artwork is not just her style and how she depicts them, but also how she tends to dive deeper into lore from a variety of different areas of mythology and pull out some lesser known characters. So while you'll see her do really well-known gods and goddesses like Aphrodite and Artemis, you'll also see her digging into things like Norse mythology or even Egyptian mythology and doing her take on these characters too. So I am in love with these kind of characters and this artwork that she does. And a lot of the kits that I end up getting from Diamond Art Club that feature her artwork tend to go right into what I call my rainy day stash. My rainy day stash is made up of kits that have special meaning to me and that I want to save and savor before I work on. There's something about being able to hold on to them for a little bit that makes me appreciate them more and enjoy them even more. It's a little bit of that like anticipation and stuff that then when I work on them, it feels that much more rewarding and that much more enjoyable, I guess. And so when I saw that Mani, God of the Moon was being released, it was instant rainy day stash kit for me. And that said, this year in 2026, I've really been wanting to work on more kits in my rainy day stash. This also fits a couple of other themes that I thought were kind of fun. So for one, for the year of 2026, I thought it would be fun to do this Year of Men, as I'm calling it, where, you know, a lot of diamond paintings that we see out there feature women. And, you know, I love my portraits. I work on tons of them here on my channel, but it is nice to have some variety. So this fit that theme. It also was the first kit that I worked on for Fairy Tales and Folklore, which is a brand new diamond painting event happening during the month of February. Not 100% sure when this video is going to go up. It's possible it will go up after the event has ended. If that's the case, you could still go check out our event videos. We did some fun like deep dives on different elements of fairy tales and folklore. And I decided I wanted to kick off the event with this particular piece. And I'm really glad that I did. I really enjoyed it quite a lot. As far as stats go, so I'm also cheating a tiny bit here, and I'll explain really briefly. This is my paper logbook, and this is where I track my diamond paintings once I actually start them and work on them. And I write down things like, you know, the stats, things that I loved or didn't love, any other notes. The thing is that the kit before this one filled the last page in this particular logbook, and my next logbook, I'm leaving one page empty in case I want to put like stats or something. So this was the end of this logbook. My next logbook is in the mail and hasn't arrived yet, but I wanted to go ahead and get this review filmed anyway, but I just wanted to show you this is the kind of notebook where I do track my diamond paintings. But what I did do was I just grabbed my little notebook for now to take my usual notes that I usually track, and I will transfer all this information into my new logbook once it arrives. So let me give you a quick rundown. This is, again, called Mani, God of the Moon. It's by the artist ChrissaBug. The shop is DAC. The size is 55.8 by 78.7 centimeters, which I tend to refer to that 50-ish by 70-ish size range as being a really great happy medium. It tends to be a size point, especially for artwork that I enjoy working on, like portraits and fantasy pieces. That size point tends to give you a good amount of detail without being enormous. Like my current whip, as I'm filming this, is 70 by 105 centimeters. And it's just like, right now I'm in the mood to work on a big kit. That doesn't happen very often. But like no, this size is more my speed most of the time. 55 colors, so not too overboard, and square drills, lots of detail. I started this on February 1st and finished it on February, it was 9th or 10th. I was looking at my photos, somewhere around there. Confetti, I gave this a 7 out of 10. It maybe could have been an 8 out of 10. It's really confetti heavy. I'll show you up close so you can see. Enjoyment, this is purely subjective. This could change based on what I had for breakfast this morning, or how I was, other circumstances at the time. But I gave this one an 8 out of 10. Overall, a really great experience. I forgot to grab the drill count, but somewhere between 50 and 100,000 diamonds probably. And then I just noted events and other kind of themes this fits under. And then things that I loved, the Met, and then notes, full 100% disclosure as always. I was sent this kit as a sneak peek when it released. Diamond Art Club sent it to me to share an unboxing of ahead of the release. That said, they have never, ever asked or hinted or required that any of us work on these kits. And so me working on it, that was just my own personal decision. So, but I still just want to make sure you know that's there. I really strive to show a wide variety of different companies here on my channel and to treat them very as equally as I possibly can, while also being self-aware enough to recognize my own even subconscious bias. So I'm really, really doing my best, but I'm going to make sure you have all the information so that you know too, right? Here's a look at the original artwork, which is a little bit more muted. But I remember when I saw this artwork in voting and going, oh, I'm obsessed with this. I hope that it makes it through voting. Diamond Art Club will sometimes put up surveys for people to vote on what artwork they want to see made into diamond paintings. But I remember looking at this, and so I think of diamond painting as almost like a special interest. I love all of the tiny intricate elements of what goes into making diamond paintings happen. And a part of that is the rendering, the process of turning the original artwork into a diamond painting. And I remember looking at this and going, the way that this is lit is so striking and very stark in some ways. I imagine that that's going to be challenging, and I am curious to see how it ends up turning out. So if you happen to look at this and go, oh, that, looks a little bit different a little bit color wise, I feel like a lot of that has to do with just a lot of the shading and the kinds of techniques that ChrissaBug uses. And a lot of times it's like these marks that in diamond painting form, it's like they have to make color choices with. So I just wanted to show you the original artwork, and then you could see diamond painting form. Here's all my drills. I had plenty left over in all colors. This kit did have some special drills, including we had this really pretty light blue AB. We had 3 fairy dust diamonds. This really pretty, it's like a light lavender taupe, a light blue. I'll show you where these ended up in the kit. And then 3865, like a classic white fairy dust. And then I was stoked to see this kit featured a fair amount of these frosted diamonds. Frosted diamonds are still pretty new to Diamond Art Club. Let me zoom in a little bit. And they have this kind of matte finish to them. They're not faceted on the top. They almost look like they're rounded, like a dome on the top. And they look like frosted glass. They're such a unique finish. And they charted them in this kit, which I really enjoyed a lot. Let me give you kind of an up close look. Let me kind of show you, oh, we're already zoomed in, my bad. Let me kind of pan over this a little bit so you could see the whole canvas, because you've really only seen part of it up till this point. I did not add any enhancement diamonds to this kit. I don't tend to enhance my canvases, but if you're interested in adding special drills, there certainly are places where this could have, you could add some extra glitz with special drills if you wanted to. But I am stunned by the level of detail in so many areas. His hair, like, oh my gosh, I would kill for that kind of hair. The detail and the way that they did, I love how Diamond Art Club does transparency, like the effect of sort of this semi-transparent, like these kind of ribbons, this wrap around him. I love how Diamond Art Club does transparency. I think it turns out so well. Like, we had that kind of lavender taupe special drill here. That's kind of the transparency between this fabric and his arm. Like, it just works. It's over here too. I love how they do transparency, and where they put the special drills. Of course, we're going to have white fairy dust in his hair and in the moon. I'll zoom you in so you can see as well. But the frosted diamond is primarily in these like blue circle, these motifs in the background. It's like a line of it here. There's a line of it down through here in this line. It's such a cool effect. And I feel like you see it a bit from further back and up close. It works in both kind of settings. So let me zoom you in and I'll kind of show you where some of these different special drills are. So looking up close, there is the effect of the frosted diamond as we're kind of going around. Kind of matte effect. There's also a sprinkling of some of the white fairy dust in the background. We have the white fairy dust. It's this glow, again, this like backlight or overhead lighting kind of effect here makes this really striking in my opinion. We have the white fairy dust kind of going down his arm and in the moon. It's also the white in his hair, just tons of really gorgeous highlight. We have some of the blue fairy dust. There's a lot of it in the blue of these like wraps. And then we have some of the white AB. Or it's light blue, but it almost reads as white. You can see some of that white AB and the extra sparkle like up in here. Here's some of that lavender fairy dust up close. Lavender, taupe, whatever you want to call it. And then we have lines of the blue fairy dust through here. And up close, you really see a lot of the confetti, right? There's our AB sprinkled in here too. Kind of the magic mode effect you see in a lot of ChrissaBug's pieces. His moon earring has a white fairy dust. Now, I'll tell you what. I'm going to be completely 1,000% honest with you. When I was working up close in the areas with like his face and parts of his arms even, I was like, ooh, those colors are really like, that's a big contrast. That's a really stark difference. And I don't know that I have like a better answer to how they could have rendered it, honestly, but I have mixed feelings about it. And that's just being really totally honest with you. I am happier with it when I step back and look at it at the whole. But typically with Diamond Art Club pieces, a lot of them tend to look like just as crisp and clear and how I tend to like it color-wise up close and far away. And this is one of those pieces I feel like you do have to be back further away. Other kind of color choices like the bright colors here, I feel like it works. Like that didn't bother me or necessarily stand out to me in the same way. But yeah, I don't know. And I honestly fully expect that some of you will look at some of these colors in the skin and be like, that is not for me, that is not my taste, and that's completely fair. And this could be some of my bias about like, I just really freaking love ChrissaBug's artwork that I'm willing to go, yeah, but like I'm happy enough when I stand back that I'm okay with it. So that's going to be where the subjectivity comes in a bit, right? So this piece, I don't know what you would call this. It's not a belt, but like this piece is coming down from his shoulder down to his waist. We have some special drills in here that I love the placement of. We have some of the white fairy dust in here again. And then in his hair, we don't have a ton of special drills like actually in his hair here, except for over when we get to here, we have some of that kind of taupey lavender. And then we have more of, well, this hair over here, lots of white fairy dust. And then we get down here, we have blue fairy dust kind of coming down here in the wrap. And then sprinkling of some of the light blue AB down here. And then down here, as we get like into his pants, there's a little bit of that like taupe fairy dust. But yeah, no, by far the majority of the special drills are going to be kind of up in this area more so than anything else. So that's kind of my in-depth thoughts. Those are kind of my in-depth thoughts specifically on the rendering. This is the kind of thing that I do tend to spend a lot of time on here on my channel when I'm doing reviews, because I personally feel like we're a little bit at a point with diamond painting companies where a lot of what I call the usual suspects tend to be pretty consistent and solid quality across the board. Things like canvas and glue quality, symbol clarity, drill quality, those kinds of things tend to like they're on more of a level playing field now than they were 5-6 years ago. So for me, what tends to set companies apart the most is, one, what is the artwork they have to offer, and two, what's their rendering style. I feel like rendering style tends to be really one of the most signature things about a company, and so that's what I tend to spend a lot of time on with my reviews, and it's what I tend to care the most about personally. So Diamond Art Club is known for a really clean and crisp rendering style, depending on the artwork, of course. Like this kind of artwork, you can see we have really clear and clean outlines and really strong details that you really, for the most part, like the color changes aside that we talked about with skin tones, clean details, like even just the lines in his hair, in the wrap, in all these different little things, really clean details, both up close and farther away. It translates in kind of both contexts. So that's why I spend a lot of time on rendering, is because that really is, I think, one of the things that sets Diamond Art Club apart the most. Speaking of the usual suspects, yes, this did have kind of the usuals going for it. The canvas is good. The glue was good. I've been hearing other people talk about recently, occasionally running into some issues with Diamond Art Club's glue lately. I've got to be honest with you guys, I haven't experienced that for myself, but I'm always an advocate of, if you're running into issues, go ahead and let Diamond Art Club know. And I'm trying to be aware and go, am I noticing any issues with the glue being thin or slippery or anything like that? And I just, with this kit, nothing, and none of the other kits I've worked on from a variety of different release times so far. But I'll keep you posted if that changes. Symbol clarity was great. No issues there. Drill quality. I just want to pour this out, especially if you happen to watch a recent post review I did on the kit Dream from Diamond Art Club, which came out in like 2019. It's the oldest kit in my stash, and I worked on it as part of kind of the Refresh Your Stash challenge. And in that video, I did a demo. I kind of showed you what the drills looked like, to be like, this was really what Diamond Art Club's drills were like back then. And if you saw me line them up in this exact tray, you would have seen just oodles of trash. The drills did not line up. There were just tabs in so many different places. But I want you to look at this by comparison. We have one missized drill right there, but otherwise, you saw me pour these in and kind of do the tap tap. Like, hello. These square drills are a dream. Like, you cannot look at that and tell me that, like, you're seeing the kinds of problems that you see with other companies or even DAC circa 2019 with some of their darker colors. This is, in fact, the same exact first color that I poured out. This was 939, which is the same color I poured out in that Dream review. And, like, I was able to use my 12 placer and multi-blaze with these like it was nothing. So I'm a huge fan of Diamond Art Club's current square drill quality. They're really, really, really nice and easy to work with. Like I said, I love to multi-place. My preferred multi-placer is a 12 placer, and in kits like this where it really was quite confetti heavy, but there were certainly areas where there were some line blocking, like these black lines here. And even, like, especially when I got to the background, that's where we had a little bit more color blocking in some of those shades. Being able to actually use my multi-placer and not have to pick around trash diamonds was delightful. It was really nice. I really, really appreciated that. So yeah, what I call the usual suspects, those were all the top tier quality I've come to expect from DAC at this point. We talked about the rendering. I love the original artwork. I thought the size point was good for this artwork personally. My meh things had to do with some hesitation about my feelings on the skin tones, as well as on a just subjective and personal note. I don't know, for me it's a lot about my experience comes with what were my expectations. And I didn't totally expect, when I decided I wanted to work on this kit, just scrolling through my Gems Flow app and trying to pick my project for Fairy Tales and Folklore to kick it off with. When I looked at the artwork, I didn't remember that it had this much confetti. So when I opened it up and started working on it, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be just a little bit more of an undertaking than I originally went into it expecting. And so it took me a little longer to do most of the sections than I might have expected. And so there was like a tiny bit of fatigue there, but I kind of averaged about 2 to 3 sections a day. And then I would just go ahead and if I felt fatigued to kind of over it or burned out at all, I was like, okay, I'm just going to go stitch or play video games or something, and I'll come back to this tomorrow. And that worked really well for me with this project, and that's why it got a rating of enjoyment 8 out of 10, because even though I'm mentioning that in the meh column, just because honestly I was trying to think about other things that maybe were not super amazing about this experience, and that's what I came up with. It just wasn't that bad, really. But if you're someone that doesn't love confetti, I want to make sure you're aware that this one does seem to have a lot of confetti, so that you can avoid it or go into it with the right expectations, I guess. But I think that's all I really have to say about this guy. So that was Monty, God of the Moon. I hope you guys enjoyed getting to take a look at this kit with me. I will have it linked below. As of the time of this filming, this kit is not discontinued, but it is sold out. If it is sold out when you go to click on the listing link, as long as it hasn't been discontinued, you can sign up for a back in stock notification, which I always recommend, as well as you can add it to your wish list on the website, because I think Diamond Art Club uses that info to help inform if and when they do restocks of kits. So definitely recommend that. You can also check out D-Stash Facebook groups or places like Mercari or eBay if you don't want to wait. I'm also really crossing my fingers that Mani's counterpart Soul gets a release. She was in voting like 5 or 6 months after Mani was, and ChrissaBug created that piece that is such a perfect companion piece to this one. She's just his Norse mythology counterpart, and please, like, everyone send positive thoughts and good luck for Diamond Art Club to ultimately release that one as well, because that'll be a must-have too. Maybe I'll be lucky enough it'll come out before next year's Fairy Tales and Folklore, and I can work on that one next. I'll be curious to see what future Katie has to say if that happens. But I think that's it. I'm going to let you go, but please let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. What do you think about this kit and what I've shared? Is it a kit that you have in your stash that you're looking forward to working on? Did watching this video make you want to de-stash it? Which I guess I'm sorry, but I'm glad it was helpful if that's the case. Or did it make you want to go and hunt this one down? In which case, yay for enabling. Either way though, I hope you found this video helpful and enjoyable. And if you would like to see more diamond painting videos from me, I do tutorials and how-tos and unboxings and reviews of a variety of different companies, as well as weekly whip and chats if you want company while you're crafting. I'd love to have you as part of my community here on my channel. I'm gonna let you go though. Thanks again for watching. I hope you're doing very, very well, and I will chat with you in the next one. Bye guys.